Many years ago, WWCDA was created to get more women in the room, more women at the table, and more women at the highest levels in the arena of white-collar defense. During those early years, we laid the foundational blocks upon which WWCDA has evolved and grown into the organization we know today.
It started with a handful of women, a dedicated collective of successful lawyers determined to achieve more connection, more community, more change, seeking a smarter, stronger, better way to support their peers, share their leadership, strengthen their influence, and achieve social change. So WWCDA was born, a first in their field. There would always be clients to serve and cases to win, but beyond the courtroom and the boardroom, there was still a world of skeptics to sway, doors to swing open, and a status quo to overturn. Unafraid of challenges that might await, these fearless professionals vowed only to look forward, never to be held back. And so they did just that. Every day, every year, their numbers grew. City after city, state by state, country after country, to span the globe with more than 3,500 members, 49 chapters, and counting. A membership as diverse as their world, as inclusive as they vowed to make it. Women helping women, dedicated to equality and empowerment, all together changing the face of law, one woman at a time. We are WWCDA.
Well, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Yes, we're back. We celebrated last year by coming together again in person, and we are continuing that tradition because nothing stops WWCDA. Absolutely nothing. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight for our awards gala. It's so exciting. We're able to gather again for this extraordinary event. It's wonderful to see this strong showing of members and our supporters in the room this evening. Tonight is all about creating connections, sharing community, and empowering change. How are we going to do that? By honoring those who've gone before us, those who've made a difference in the white-collar industry while championing women. Now, I know it's tempting to still visit, but I ask you to turn your attention to the stage as I'm about to introduce our co-founder and chair. Now, I was actually thrilled that I was asked to return as the MC of the WWCDA Awards Gala. Our incredible organization is connecting women all over the globe. We are creating tomorrow's leaders in the law. But without everyone in this room, and I do mean everyone, members, allies, supporters, all of you. Without all of you, WWCDA's mission to advance and support women in the white-collar field would not be possible. And let me say that at this particular moment in history and this particular moment in time, I am particularly honored to stand with an organization not only founded upon, but living by the importance of diversity within the legal profession. Make no mistake about it, this is an organization that has literally changed the face of the white-collar defense bar. An organization that has made it clear that we too are the face of excellence. We too are the face of talent. And we too are the face of legal brilliance. And let me just say, this is a recognition that excludes no one at all. but opens up this great profession of ours so that all voices are heard and everyone's worth is acknowledged. And this is a recognition that uplifts us all. And it is more important than ever as we see reactionary forces rising and using the law itself, which has been a force for so much good, to try and prop up what can only be described as a dying cultural hegemony. Now, why are these forces so intense now? Why do we see this incredible backlash to all that we've achieved? Why? Because we have made such strides, and we're not stopping. We are the forward movement in this country. We are the ones who know that equality is not a zero-sum game. More for you does not mean less for me, and we are not stopping our forward progress. And tonight, we're going to continue marching forward, looking forward, and we're going to honor the many leaders who support WWCDA's mission and forward movement. Connecting, collaborating, advancing, unstoppable. All right. So let's get started with our program. We actually gather tonight at an incredibly important moment. We're here on the eve of WWCDA's 25th anniversary. We're going to see that milestone in 2024. Anniversaries are incredibly important. They let us look back and see how far we've come. They give us inspiration for the work that lies ahead. And every year, WWCDA's numbers have grown exponentially, city after city, state after state, and country after country. WWCDA now spans the globe with more than 3,500 members, 49 chapters. How wonderful, how amazing it is that we're here tonight celebrating almost 25 years of connection and community and change. Please give yourselves a hand. Almost 25 years ago, a small group of trailblazing women lawyers wanted to leverage their success to support others. And they saw that there was strength in numbers and strength in unity. My dear friends, Karen Popp and Beth Wilkinson organized that first meeting. And they both remain at the top of their game. And Karen in particular has been integral in helping to grow the organization into the diverse and empowered face of law we're here to celebrate this evening. Now, I have been privileged to know Karen since we were both summer associates together at a small law firm in North Carolina in 1982. Karen was a year ahead of me. She has been bossing me around ever since then. She just has. But since she's usually right, I tend to go along with what she says. Many years later, our paths crossed again in the Eastern District of New York, where we were both young AUSAs. Karen came there after becoming an associate at Sullivan & Cromwell in New York. After she shook the dust of Brooklyn off her feet, she moved down to Washington, and she was in the Office of Legal Counsel at DOJ, and then Associate White House Counsel for President Clinton. After leaving the White House, she joined Sidley & Austin as a partner, and she has helped to build their white-collar practice. In addition to her many successes as a lawyer, Karen has always, and I mean always, been a strong advocate for women. She works tirelessly to advance women in the legal field by leading WWCDA and serving in so many other roles. And I have to tell you, bringing people together is not new for Karen. In fact, it's her stock in trade, wherever she goes. You know, I often refer to Karen as my friend who has a building named after her on her college campus. Because, well, she does. But this building, like this organization, exemplifies how Karen lives her life. I just want to take a minute and tell you what a wonderful building it is. The Karen A. Popp and Damon T. Martin Student Union at UNC Charlotte. There as here, Karen has created a place of inclusion. She's created a place of support. She's created a place of community. And in just 10 short years, this sought-after space for events and meetings and groups has become known as the epicenter of campus. I just call it Karen's building, but you get the picture. What I'm saying is bringing people together and then bringing out the best in them is not just something that Karen does, it's who she is. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the founder and global chair and co-founder of WWCDA, and my friend, Karen Popp.
Thank you very much, Loretta. And as usual, Loretta went off script. But it's so exciting to have her back this year as our MC, and I really appreciate you doing it, Loretta. You've been a good friend for, 40 years plus. My gosh, I can't believe. And I'm so happy that we've been able to stay in touch, and we've got a lot of Eastern District of New York people in the room tonight. Your career is unbelievable. And before we got started tonight, I saw all these people coming up to say hello to you, to shake your hand, to hug you, but also all these other women at this table. It's just unbelievable who's at this center table right here. You've got Judge Beryl Howell, Juliet Pryor, Kathy Rimler, Lisa Monaco, Patricia Brown Holmes, Professor Elliott, and Sally Yates. Now and of course Loretta was there, I call this the kick-ass women's table right there. So Loretta, you are an unbelievable trailblazer for all of us. You've got lots of accomplishments, both in government, three decades in government and private practice. You've served under two presidents, President Obama, President Clinton, and served as the Attorney General of the United States as the first African-American woman to be in that role. And now you've come into private practice, and you've joined Paul Weiss. You're back as a member of WWCDA, thankfully. And you're back in the news because you have this unbelievable practice, high-profile, high-stakes practice. You've received lots of awards, including the top award that WWCDA gives out in 2020. We gave you the Champion Award that we're given tonight to Judge Howell and Lisa Monaco. You've truly been a trailblazer. You really have. And you have never stopped the momentum of advancing women and diversity in white-collar law. You continue to inspire all of us, and you continue to make a space for so many others. And we're really, really lucky to have you in this field, on this earth, and as our MC tonight. So thank you again, and I appreciate you being here to celebrate the accomplishments that we have in this field. And thanks to all of you that are here tonight. I'm thrilled to be able to welcome you officially to this year's WWCDA Awards Gala. It's great to be together again in another sold-out crowd of members, colleagues, friends, and even the others, press, etc. Our community is what makes this evening so special. 2023 has seen our organization do a lot, connecting, advancing, and making an impact at the local, regional, and global levels. As Loretta said, we're now all over the world, Europe, Latin America, Asia Pacific, North America, 18 countries. We have, just this year, we've launched 4 new chapters.
Belgium, Austin, Texas, Luxembourg, and just recently South Carolina, and we've got at least a dozen more in the pipeline. It is extremely exciting. We have both Ukraine and Israel in the pipeline, and I still have hopes that one day we will be launching chapters in those countries. We also have tonight some of our previous winners, trailblazers, people, men and women, that have helped this organization grow for the last 25 years. You know, we started in 1999 with a very simple mission: equality for women in the field of white collar, criminal defense, and also to reduce the gender gap in the white collar field by providing networking, education, and business development opportunities. We've grown throughout the world, and we've been dedicated to that diversity, equity, and inclusion mission. In order to continue that growth, we've been able to launch a number of initiatives. You know, when we started out, we used to get together in each other's conference rooms. We get together for Spa Day right before the ABA White Collar Conference. By the way, we still do that. But now, today, we've got 33 initiatives. We got more than 150 events throughout the world. We're very successful in spotlighting our members, promoting thought leadership activities for our members, to promote our members to not only have a seat at the table, but to be empowered and to take the lead. We've had incredible expansion in these various activities. We're collaborating with other organizations. We're collaborating with chambers and other publications for rankings so that women are ranked accurately, so that those rankings reflect accurately the role that women play in the white collar field. Those 150 events, those 33 initiatives and growing have really helped us to promote diversity and to promote successful women in the field. I also want to thank our various committees. For example, we have the goal of seeing more women in monitorships, more women in receiverships. We've just launched a mentorship program for our younger members and for any member. And in addition to partnering with all those other organizations, we're helping to place women in speaking roles and thought leadership roles. And you know, when WWCDA was just getting started back in 1999, that year's ABA conference had little to no women on any of the panels. None of the speakers, hardly. I think there might have been one. But today, at the ABA conferences and other conferences, the work that we've done in helping to place women in speaking roles, today you see at least 50% of those panels, 50% of those speaking roles are women in those positions. We've enjoyed an enormous success in promoting the accomplishments of our members through our social media, website, and newsletter channels. And the growth and success of this organization proves the power of working together, proves the power of helping each other, referring business to each other, asking our male colleagues to refer business to women, and otherwise help to promote women. WWCDA proves how building a network and fostering it with great program and thought leadership will drive business to top women professionals across the world. And together, we are changing the face of law, one woman at a time. So tonight we're going to celebrate that success. Tonight, we're going to honor the women and men and groups whose efforts have enhanced the white-collar field, made it more diverse, or who have otherwise used their platforms to support women in the practice. Tonight, we're going to present 5 awards to honor those accomplishments. You'll hear more about each of the awards, the lineup of speakers, the winners. We're very proud to honor tonight's winners, and we hope you will take the time to learn more about all of them. You also get a glimpse of our chapters. We're going to recognize 2 chapters this evening, our London chapter and our Phoenix chapter. They both have had very successful years and enjoyed tremendous growth. The chapter leaders and members do a lot in their local communities, and their impact is immeasurable. It's remarkable to see our mission in action, bringing women to the forefront of their profession, highlighting their diverse talents, and celebrating their successes, connecting and advancing and making an impact together. Finally, I'd like to thank each of you for being here tonight and for your support of our mission. Thanks to our WWCDA members who have worked tirelessly to put on this fantastic gala. Thank you to Susan Bazorgi and Michelle Shapiro, our 2 global vice chairs. Thank you to Hannah Bornstein, our chair of the gala, and also Kyle Salzberg, our vice chair of the gala. These women are partners in their respective law firms, but they work hard and play critical roles in the moving forward of our organization. And you're going to hear more about each of them this evening. I also want to give a big thanks to our sponsors. More than 100 sponsors help us do what we do. Our diamond and platinum sponsors, our corporate gold and silver and annual law firm sponsors, and our gala sponsors. We cannot be doing what we're doing without you. Your support helps us move forward. It helps supports our initiatives. It helps supports all of our activities. It helps support the advancement of women in the field. I also want to thank all the men. There's a lot of men here tonight. The numbers have grown over the years, and we are very supportive of each other, and we're very thankful of your support of us. Now, from the very beginning of when we started this organization almost 25 years ago, our male colleagues have supported us. They have collaborated with us, and that has been invaluable. They have referred business to us. I know that there have been a number, for example, of my law partners at Sidley that will use our website to find local counsel around the world to give business to. We just had recently a request come in, one of our cases, that there was needed to be counsel for individuals. I got the call. Do you have a chapter in such and such? This is how it works. Not only are we giving business to each other, but our male colleagues are giving business to us. And this is how women can advance. These strong connections with each other, strong connections with other members of the bar are absolutely critical to bring equality in the field of white-collar defense. So thank you for being here to celebrate that tonight. And we're going to get started. Now, I know that some of you are eating salad. Those of you who have been eating salad, good for you, because you were supposed to be eating salad by now. So we're going to start with our first award. Our first award is the WWCDA Catherine M. O'Neill Mentoring Award. Now, before we introduce this year's winner, we're going to play a short video about the award, followed by remarks by our own Dixie Johnson, who's a partner at King & Spalding and a valued member of WWCDA. She's also a leader in the Securities Enforcement Bar, and we're so happy that she's with us tonight and that she'll be presenting the O'Neill Award. But first, let's go to the videotape.
This award is given to an aspiring junior member of WWCDA in honor of the late Catherine M. O'Neill and in commemoration of her excellence, integrity, grit, and tenacity in her legal advocacy, her enthusiasm and optimism for life and the law, her boundless energy and creativity, her dedication to mentoring young lawyers, and her generous and tireless donation of her time and talents for the public good.
This award honors the memory of our amazing partner, Kathy O'Neill, who tragically passed away following a valiant fight against pancreatic cancer while working as a full-time partner. The mentoring part of the award is what Kathy would want the world to focus on. Kathy always made time to mentor the lawyers around her and to encourage others to do the same. She made those around her better.
In 2015, I received a call on my cell phone from a very excited Kathy O'Neill. She was down in New Orleans at the ABA meeting and had run into Karen Pop. And Kathy said, "Jamila, I'm so excited. There is this women's organization made for us, specifically for us. And I really want us to do it in Atlanta, but I won't do it without you. You've got to join me." Some people would call a person like Kathy a superwoman. I call her a Wonder Woman because every time I saw her or saw something she was doing, I continued to wonder how it was that she was still able to do so much, so well, and always be a friend and mentor to many.
Please welcome to the stage, Dixie Johnson.
What a great video. If you knew Kathy, you know how wonderful it was to kind of capture the essence of why she was so special. What a remarkable woman and an inspiration to all of us who knew her and all of you now who are getting to know her through this process. Kathy believed in connecting women and empowering change. What a wonderful message. Thank you to the WWCDA and to Karen Pop, without whom this award would not exist, because I remember having lunch and talking about it and back in the day. It is given each year to a junior member of the WWCDA, which is exactly what Kathy would want. Dozens of King and Spalding partners originally funded the award for 10 years. I remember opening the envelopes back in the day and seeing all of those individual checks from everybody who loved Kathy and wanted to make this happen. I'm delighted to announce today that our Special Matters and Government Investigations team, of which Kathy was a member, has pledged to continue funding the award for many years beyond the original 10. Thank you. Thank you. These donations fund a $2,500 educational stipend for the winner to use to further her legal and leadership development. The WWCDA Catherine M. O'Neill Award celebrates Kathy's dedication to mentoring young lawyers. And I'm sure many of you actually were beneficiaries of that. I was too, even though I was older than Kathy, but she could teach all of us for sure. Her generous donation of her time and talents for the public good are just typical of what happens in the WWCDA. Her husband, David Namias, is here tonight. Dave, can you stand up? Dave is a partner at Jones Day and has been so supportive to the WWCDA over the years. Dave, thank you for being here with us tonight to honor Kathy and to honor our award winner. The award is given each year to a junior member of the WWCDA who displays the potential to be a future WWCDA lawyer and leader and is a rising star in the bar while embodying the spirit and characteristics that made Kathy such a special and successful lawyer, a beloved colleague and a leader of this organization. So I'm pleased to announce this year's WWCDA Catherine M. O'Neill Award winner is WWCDA Indianapolis chapter member, Allie Hughes. who is Allie is an associate at Barnes & Thornburg in Indianapolis. As she joins us on stage, please turn your attention to the screens to hear a message from Steve Reed, who is Chief Legal Officer of Bright Spring Health Services, who would like to share a few words about Allie.
Wow, WWCDA, what an extraordinary organization. This is my honor to be able to speak to this organization this evening. It is truly mine. Let me start out before I get going, just acknowledging a few things. I looked at the lineup of the organization and I'm blown away. Let me say a couple comments first. Judge Howe, my greatest mentor was the judge for whom I served as a law clerk. Any young attorney that gets an opportunity to serve as a law clerk to a federal judge knows what an honor it is. And it was not only an honor of mine during the term of my clerkship, it's been the honor of mine for the remainder of my life because of all the lessons I've learned. Lessons that go beyond law and go and permeate into the field of justice, which is what this organization is doing. Next, I will say something very briefly about the Attorney General Lynch. I have been following you for all of my legal career. You were an assistant U.S. attorney in New York before I was one in Kentucky. I followed you were there in 2002. I became one in 2000. You were there in 1992. Sorry about that. I became one in 1993. Tried to save us 10 years on our lives. I became one in 1993 after you were there in New York. You, of course, went on to become Attorney General of the United States. Of course, I didn't follow you there, but I did get a chance to go say hi to Eric, who was writing his letter of resignation at Main Justice the day I went there when you were about to take over. So that was an honor going to Main Justice and seeing Eric as he was leaving when you were about to come in. There are other trailblazers in this organization that are astounding in the things that you're doing and what you've done. My hat's off to you, and I congratulate each and every one of you. Before I talk about Allie Hughes, I want to give a very quick story that I think is relevant for who she is and for what this organization stands for. When I became U.S. Attorney in the late 90s, a long time ago, I had an interview with Janet Reno at Main Justice. The interviews, as some of you know, when you're interviewing prospective U.S. attorneys, you start out interviewing, at least I did, in the morning, and the interviews continue to later in the day. Toward the end of the day, I was sitting there reading a magazine, waiting on the final interview. And as I was looking at my magazine, in my peripheral vision, I could see a lady's shoes. When I looked up and saw the shoes, and then I looked up and it was not an executive admin, but it was Janet Reno. And I made sure that Janet Reno, I told her after we finished talking, I said, there's one thing I want you to make sure you understand. You tell your guys that work for you, including Mr. Holder. You tell them that you're the most powerful woman in law in the world, the most powerful person in law in the world for that matter. And you're the only person who came out directly to retrieve me for this interview and did not send or feel the need to send an executive admin. So I want you to tell them that you understand the combination of grace, humility, and power, and you have the security to do it yourself. And I've always remembered that story, and she got a really big kick out of it. Now, that's sort of exactly what the WWCDA is doing. I know this is a small story, a small gesture, but sometimes these small things can be a greater reflection of something much bigger. The fact that you have this organization that is going around the world, breaking down stereotypes, ensuring justice, is extraordinary. And you're not only breaking down barriers to ensure justice because of the fight that you do in the courtroom, the fight that you do before the courtroom and the litigation gets started, perhaps just as importantly, if not more so, is what you're doing as far as ensuring justice in breaking down the stereotypes, the fights that you're doing to ensure justice because you change the perception of the people. You change the perception of those being prosecuted, of those who have certain limits on what they can do in terms of society and how they're perceived in law and in court. The fact that this organization doing what it's doing, not just in DC, but around the world, you guys are extraordinary. I love this organization. I love what you stand for. I love what you're doing. Now, but the reason I'm here is to speak about someone specific and what this person who is next going to do. That is Alyssa Hughes. I've had the honor of working with Alyssa Hughes, and in life, you get the honor sometimes of working with someone who's special. Alyssa Hughes, Allie, is special. I've engaged Allie to do corporate investigations, internal investigations, compliance matters, False Claims Act, anti-kickback, you name it. And I cannot be prouder to have someone that I'm relying on and having such trust in, and know that the company is in good hands when they're in her hands. Allie, congratulations on the award that you're receiving. I look forward to watching your extraordinary career. You're a trailblazer in and of your own right. I look forward to watching what you do to help continue to make this world better. And this world cannot be better unless it is much stronger in justice. I look forward to watching you grow. I look forward to watching this organization continue to make this world better. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, for the wonderful remarks about Allie. And now a few words from our winner, Allie Hughes. While she's coming up here, I just want to say I had the opportunity to read a lot about Allie, and we're going to be watching her for some time. The way she helps clients, helps her colleagues, helps people who need her pro bono services. We're going to be watching, and I think we're all going to be excited about seeing what she can do. So, Allie, congratulations.
Wow. Thank you, Dixie. Thank you, WWCDA. It's such an honor to receive this important recognition from WWCDA, which has truly become a global legal community dedicated to attorneys and other professionals in the white-collar defense field. I also want to give a special thanks to King & Spalding for supporting this crucial award to honor Kathy's legacy of legal excellence, leadership, and mentoring the next generation of lawyers. I never imagined that I would make it at a big law firm. I didn't think that I was smart enough, I didn't think I was fancy enough, and I knew that I was too sarcastic. Over the last 6 years at Barnes & Thornburg, I've worked with a lot of excellent lawyers, men and women both. But it was the women that saw me from day one and told me I belonged until I believed it too. All of my mentors, many of whom are here tonight, making way too much noise, there they are, have taught me by showing that it takes a lot more than billing the most hours to be a great lawyer, that lawyering is a team sport, and there's a responsibility to the people that you work with, that are above you and beside you, but most importantly, that there is a responsibility to help the people that come up behind you. I take that responsibility seriously. Mentoring opens doors for people like me who don't necessarily look like everyone else in the room, who are unsure if they belong, and are frankly a little bit weird. I wouldn't be in this position without my first mentor and biggest advocate, Katie Matsoukas. In a broad sense, but also literally because she nominated me. In true Katie fashion, she did such a compelling job that she brought at least one committee member to tears. And I think that says a lot more about her and the ways that she supports her team than it does about me. Thank you, Katie. The white collar group that we have at Barnes & Thornburg is awesome. We collaborate together. It's an incredibly diverse group, chaired by women, and with a few exceptions, we like each other. You get it. Every few months, almost inevitably, the question bubbles up from other areas of the firm. What is the white collar group doing that makes it so successful? And from where I sit, the answer to that question is simple. We put women in charge. Thank you again to WWCDA for organizing this event to shine a light on those who have empowered change for so many in the white-collar field. I am truly honored to be the recipient of the 2023 Catherine M. O'Neill Mentoring Award. And thank you, King & Spalding and WWCDA, for your continued efforts to support diverse voices and help create tomorrow's leaders in law. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage, Michelle Shapiro.
Congratulations, Allie. How bright does our future look? It's so thrilling to look out tonight and see so many familiar faces and so many new ones. Welcome, everyone. Our next award this evening is the WWCDA Group Award, honoring outstanding team achievement in the white-collar field while advancing women. This award emphasizes the power of teamwork and the importance it can have in promoting gender diversity in our field. The winning team can be comprised of lawyers or other professionals of any gender who have collaborated on a project or projects that have an impact in the white-collar field while highlighting and promoting women. It's my privilege to present this year's 2023 WWCDA Group Award to Microsoft. You all, of course, know Microsoft as a cutting-edge global technology company. What you might not know is that they're also on the cutting edge of promoting diversity and inclusion in the legal profession. In 2008, Microsoft launched its law firm diversity program, the LFDP, to advance diversity and inclusion by incentivizing their legal providers. What they do is award bonuses to participating firms that achieve or exceed diversity representation goals. Every year, Microsoft reviews and iterates those goals to accelerate progress. So for example, in 2015, the program evolved to focus on leadership demographics, specifically looking to improve the diversity of law firm executive and management committees. The impact the LFDP has made is tangible, with metrics reported on the company's website. Another Microsoft initiative to increase legal diversity is its partnership with NAMWOLF, the National Association for Minority and Women-Owned Law Firms. Microsoft signed NAMWOLF's inclusion initiative and committed to spend $15 million annually with firms certified as WMBE. Since joining in 2010, Microsoft has spent over $155 million in legal services from those firms, and they continue to grow that roster. Microsoft also has a deep and well-established commitment to hiring and promoting women and lawyers of color internally. Women serve in key leadership roles and manage some of the company's most critical matters. We're really fortunate to have one of those incredible women leaders with us tonight to accept the WWCDA Group Award on behalf of Microsoft. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Microsoft's Deputy General Counsel and Global Head of Litigation, Cindy Randall.
Thank you, Michelle, and good evening, everyone. It is my great pleasure to accept the 2023 WWCDA Group Award on behalf of Microsoft. Microsoft is honored to receive this award. We are a global technology company whose mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And as part of that mission, Microsoft is committed to promoting diversity and inclusion in the legal profession. Because in our experience, as diversity increases among ourselves and within our outside counsel firms, we experience more innovation, more thoughtful decision-making, better litigation outcomes, and more business success. And as you heard, a key program to achieve those outcomes is our law firm diversity program, which I'm deeply engaged in and is very near and dear to my heart. So the program creates financial incentives for the law firms we partner with to meet diversity representation targets, both generally at the firm and specifically on our matters. And last year we had 33 participating firms. The program has had great results over time, increasing diverse representation in our matters by 30%, and also supporting an increase in diverse partners and diverse representation on firm management committees. And in litigation in particular, we ask our firms every time we send out a request for proposals to propose a diverse team. And in the last year, we chose a diverse team in 100% of our major matters. Thank you. And I'm very happy to report that our two biggest trial wins this year were achieved by teams led by women. We also have a deep and well-established commitment to hiring and promoting women and lawyers of color. There are a number of women in key leadership roles, and women represent more than 49% of our managers and leaders at the director level and above. And finally, a key initiative to continue our progress is our pipeline programs. Microsoft provides law school scholarships, internships, and fellowships designed to inspire, attract, and nurture a new, more diverse generation of attorneys. And we also fund research to evaluate the diversity gap between the legal profession and other professions so we can understand and address it more effectively. All of this represents real progress and accountability, but we have more to do. The growth in diverse representation does not yet match the diversity of clients and communities that our company and profession serves. So we are very grateful to WWCDA for providing a platform to celebrate and promote the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the legal profession. Thank you, WWCDA, for honoring Microsoft with the 2023 Group Achievement Award, and thank you for your continued work creating tomorrow's leaders in law.
Please welcome Susan Bazorgi.
Thank you, Cynthia, and thank you, Microsoft, for your commitment to promote and advance women in law. Every year that I come here, I'm in awe of the WWCDA group winners and how they're making an impact for women in our field. Congratulations again, Microsoft. Our next award, which I'm honored to present tonight, is the WWCDA Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg Outstanding Law Student Award. I think we all can agree that Justice Ginsburg was a true trailblazer throughout her career and as the second female United States Supreme Court Justice. Following her passing, WWCDA wanted to honor her legacy by creating an award in her name. Let's take a look at a video tribute to the late Justice Ginsburg and more about the award in her honor.
WWCDA commits to honor Justice Ginsburg's legacy and fulfill our organization's core mission to promote equality and inclusion within the legal profession and beyond.
In my lifetime, I expect to see 3, 4, perhaps even more women on the High Court bench, women not shaped from the same mold, but of different complexions. I surely would not be in this room today without the determined efforts of men and women who kept dreams of equal citizenship alive.
This award was created to honor Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Like so many of the women in our organization, she was a trailblazer. She leaves an enduring legacy that we all must carry forward. We created the WWCDA Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg Outstanding Law Student Award to reflect what our members were feeling after her passing. We could not be doing what we're doing professionally, but for Justice Ginsburg. We owe her everything. This award represents her efforts to pave the way for other women and her life's work of mentoring and lifting up women in law.
I had the honor and great privilege of clerking for Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg from 1999 to 2000. I am so pleased to know that the Women's White Collar Defense Association has created an award in Justice Ginsburg's honor to recognize a female law student who, like Justice Ginsburg, exemplifies excellence, perseverance, resilience, and a dedication to making ours a more just legal system.
Because she knew how important it was for women, particularly young women, to see what they could also accomplish. I think the greatest gift she gave all of us was that she brought her whole self to all of her work. She acknowledged all the many parts of her life in her work. Her life as a lawyer, her life as a professor, her life as an advocate, her life as a parent and a spouse and as a judge. And she showed all of us that we too bring our whole selves to this great endeavor that we call the law. And for that, I will always be grateful to Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
The WWCDA Justice Ginsburg Award is to be given annually to a law student in her final year of study. And the law student is someone that best exemplifies Justice Ginsburg's commitment to excellence, perseverance, resilience, extraordinary work ethic, and tireless dedication to ensure justice for all in the eyes of the law. I'm so pleased to announce that this year's winner of WWCDA's Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg Outstanding Law Student Award is being given to Swapanthi Mandalika, who is currently a 3L law student at the University of Alabama School of Law. Before Swapanthi joins us on the stage, I would like to first invite Professor Heather Elliott to the stage to tell us more about this year's winner of the WWCDA Ginsburg Award. Professor Heather Elliott is a former law clerk of Justice Ginsburg and the then Judge Merrick Garland of the Court of Appeals for the DC Circuit, and now Attorney General Garland. Professor Elliott teaches civil procedure, land use law, and water law. Professor Ginsburg, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you for the WWCDA for the opportunity to tell you about a remarkable young woman, Swapanthi Mandalika. Swapanthi epitomizes the values Justice Ginsburg held, and she is a worthy recipient of this award. She reminds me a great deal of the Justice. When I clerked for the Justice in the October term of 2001, I saw her deal with the tragedy of 9/11 and the presence of anthrax in the court's mailroom, on top of the extraordinary pressures she already faced as only the second woman to sit on the court. She never batted an eye. Like the Justice, Swapanthi appears quiet and introspective, but that demeanor hides a fierce intelligence, a commitment to justice, and a determination to succeed against the odds. As is unsurprising in someone with any similarity to the justice, Swapanthy has been first in her class throughout law school and has won Best Paper awards in 10 of her courses, more than I can remember any student earning since I began in legal academia almost 20 years ago. I have taught her in 2 courses, Legislation and Regulation and Water Resources Law, and she wrote exceptional exam answers in both, winning the Best Paper Award in Water Law, which I should say is not her thing at all. Of the more than 2,500 students I have taught in my career, she is the best student I have had. I have also seen Swapanthy's keen intellect at work in research she has done for me. In the summer of 2022, she performed in-depth research on recent Supreme Court decisions in civil procedure, identifying places where the court, undoubtedly in part because of RBG's absence, had failed to fill gaps or to anticipate potential pitfalls in procedural decisions. Her research work was invaluable to me, and her ability to cut to the heart of the analysis in a wide variety of opinions reminded me strongly of the Justice's analytical style. Also, like the Justice, Swapanthy has fought against discrimination and for a more just world. She is one of the few South Asian women at the law school of the University of Alabama, and the only person of color from her year on the Alabama Law Review. Woman of color, person of color? Her work as an academic tutor and a mentor to other students of color has made the law school a more inclusive place. Such work echoes her work as an undergraduate student in mentoring women from low-income families. Swapanthy's commitment to justice is long-standing and deep. Like the Justice, Swapanthy seeks to be a legal academic, a role she is highly suited for, and one in which she will undoubtedly succeed, in which she will serve as a role model to other women, and in which she will mentor other women to come along with her. And of course, Swapanthy's intersectional identity as a woman of color will allow her to inspire and bring along a group of women profoundly underrepresented in the legal profession. Swapanthy fits all the criteria of a Ginsburg Award winner, and I know she will continue the incredible work of the Justice and the WWCDA's mission to advance women in the white-collar field. And I should note, she's accepting this award with her soon-to-be-born child, which is very exciting.
Please welcome to the stage Payal Salzberg.
Thank you, Professor Elliott. It is a pleasure to be here as a member of WWCDA to honor tomorrow's leaders. This award celebrates the Justice's commitment to helping those who came after her to surmount similar obstacles in their own endeavors, to participate in the legal process, and increase access to justice for all. The WWCDA Justice Ginsburg Award is accompanied by a member-led mentoring circle for the winner after she graduates law school. I am so excited that our winner will get to benefit from such mentoring from powerhouse women in our practice. WWCDA is a leading example of the power of affinity groups and proves how building a network and fostering it with great programming and thought leadership opportunities can empower change for law students and professionals around the world. Swapanthy clearly is a brilliant student and an exemplary human being. She came highly recommended to the WWCDA from both Professor Elliott and from Congressman Ro Khanna of California, with whom Swapanthy worked for 3 years prior to law school. In her personal statement, Swapanthy wrote about joining the University of Alabama Law School without having any previous ties or professional networks. Despite being a member of a very small minority in the Deep South, which has sometimes brought unwarranted contempt, she has immersed herself in her newfound home by doing well and endeavoring to help those around her do well, including mentoring the disproportionate number of students of color who are on academic probation. Swapanti, you've come to the right place, right here at WWCDA. We know you will be clerking in the Northern District of Alabama and the 10th Circuit after law school, but when you're done with those and you join Latham in private practice, the women of WWCDA will envelope you with a group of women mentors. Your circle of women mentors will help you get your feet firmly planted in this practice, connect you to others who have walked the path before you, and help you realize that you belong right here with us. WWCDA is all about women helping women, and we're ready to help you on your path to being a phenomenal lawyer. It is my honor to present the 2023 Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg Outstanding Law Student Award to Swapanti Mandalika.
Thank you so much. What an absolute honor to receive this wonderful award on this beautiful evening. I'm so grateful to WWCDA for their commitment to empowering change and reducing the gender gap in white-collar law. It is because of your work that future women lawyers are becoming true trailblazers in the legal field. I'd also like to thank Professor Elliott for being here tonight. Thank you so much for your support, your kindness, and your encouragement. Finally, I'd like to thank the late Justice Ginsburg for being a true trailblazer for all of us. I emphasize the importance of WWCDA's work because of how intimately I know the impact the right kind of advocacy can have on someone's life. Long before I knew of this award, and long before my time in law school, I was a girl failing my way out of high school. Having taken the GED equivalent, my college experience was not going much better. As a last-ditched effort to pull myself out of my near intractable despondency, I started a women's support group at a low-income school in my neighborhood. Across those meetings, I learned several invaluable lessons, chief among them that it's hard to feel useless when you're being helpful. That aphorism has guided my life across the ensuing decade and on to this stage today, where I'm so fortunate to meet yet another collection of beautiful, talented, and remarkable women. As I now look into the sea of individuals this event comprises, I cannot help but be awed by this room's overwhelming felicity of diversity. There is no greater testament to the life of Justice Ginsburg than the fact that this is the collection of women who choose to honor her legacy. Such a body simply would not have been possible, even 3 or 4 generations ago. My mother, who is here today, a proud Indian immigrant, could not have dreamed that her daughter would be so honored, even 3 or 4 generations ago. My name, Swapanti Mandalika Reeves, whose hyphenation enshrines my eternal commitment to my English American husband would not have been possible even 3 or 4 generations ago. Not our marriage, and certainly not the son I'm so blessed to meet next spring. Thank you. It is in this spirit of diversity and in reverence of the faith that guided Justice Ginsburg's life that I would like to close with a quick reading from my favorite passage in the Old Testament. It's from the book of Ruth. For those who don't know, it recounts the commitment made by a Gentile woman to her Jewish mother-in-law. It goes as such. But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me." I am so grateful to Justice Ginsburg, who fiercely advocated so that all women can acknowledge the many parts of ourselves in our work. As women, we have a wealth of lived experience that only makes our advocacy all the more fierce. I'm so grateful that we have Justice Ginsburg's life as a model to look to carry on that work. And I'm so remarkably grateful to WWCDA for commemorating her legacy with such a meaningful award. It is no surprise that an award bearing Justice Ginsburg's name would be created by a global, innovative organization that is so committed to supporting and empowering women. Thank you so much again for this great honor.
Please welcome back to the stage your MC for this evening, Loretta Lynch.
Well, congratulations again, Swapanti. Thank you so much for choosing the law to utilize your considerable talents. We cannot wait to see what else you will accomplish. And let me just send a special congratulations to your special guest, your mother, Mrs. Mandalika. Tonight, we all share your pride in your wonderful daughter and all that she has accomplished and all that she is going on to do. And we honor you and the love and the support and the sacrifices that we know went into helping her support her choices. Thank you so much. Our next award to be presented is the WWCDA Laurie A. Miller Leadership Award for the advancement of women in white-collar defense. Now, we'll hear a short video to hear more about not just the award, but the incredible woman for which it is named.
This award was created in memory of Laurie A. Miller, a groundbreaking leader and brilliant practitioner in the white-collar defense and government investigations field, who was unyielding in her advocacy of women practitioners around the world.
I'm David Centel, known to some as Dave and some as Judge. I'm a judge of the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. I met Laurie Miller when she was one of a small group of lawyers who came to me with the proposition that we should form an American Inn of Court comprised of lawyers who practice in the defense and prosecution of white-collar crime. I was delighted, as that had been a favorite area of mine as in practice as a prosecuting attorney and as a defense attorney.
Anyone who came across Lori recognized her keen intellect, her always sharp command of facts and the law, her strategic acumen, ultimate professionalism, and her sense of humor. But the memories I treasure most are those moments when Lori took the time and had the patience to work with me and bring me along as a young lawyer in the white-collar practice. What she taught me in those moments has had such a significant impact on my career.
As one of the few women white-collar defense lawyers practicing in Washington, D.C. in 1999, Lori immediately gave her support when presented with the idea by Karen Popp and Beth Wilkinson to launch a women's white-collar defense group. Karen and Beth had just left the government, and Lori was instrumental in helping them move the concept forward in Washington, D.C. and beyond.
She would be so pleased to have an award in her honor given by an organization where she was one of the original members, and which is made up of women who are committed to helping each other and paving the way and mentoring those coming up next.
I can think of no better way to honor Lori's contributions to the advancement of women in the white-collar bar than to name this award after her. I know I sit where I sit because of the trail Lori blazed for me and for so many others.
This is such an important award. It goes to the heart of our organization. Last year's winner, the indomitable, the incomparable Leslie Caldwell, was due to be here to present the award, but was unable to make it this evening. So actually, I have the honor to announce this year's winner, and an honor it is indeed. I am so pleased to announce that this year's Laurie A. Miller Leadership Award winner is Patricia Brown Holmes. Now, before we invite Patricia to the stage, we're honored to be joined by Juliette Pryor, the Executive Vice President and Chief Legal Officer of Lowe's Corporation, who knows our winner well and will share some remarks before we hear from Patricia. Juliette has more than 30 years of legal experience. Most recently, she served as the Executive Vice President, General Counsel, and Corporate Secretary for the Albertsons Companies. Before joining Albertsons, she served as the General Counsel of Cox Enterprises and as General Counsel and Chief Compliance Officer of U.S. Foods. Previously, she worked at the firm of Skadden Arps and served as General Counsel and Corporate Secretary at Aspire Communications. She started her career in-house at IBM and later served as legal advisor to the Vice Chairman of the U.S. International Trade Commission. Please join me in welcoming Juliette Pryor.
Thank you, Loretta. Good evening. It is an honor to be here this evening. Like so many of the amazing women we've heard about tonight, Lori Miller had a yearning to continue improving herself as a person and as a lawyer. And I'm here tonight to tell you about another trailblazing woman who also continues to grow and challenge herself and the community around her. I have known Patricia Brown Holmes for 15 years and am so pleased to have this opportunity to pay tribute to the extraordinary achievements of an extraordinary woman. The first thing that stands out about Patricia is actually not even tied to her role as a lawyer, but it is instead her personal philosophy for life. Patricia is one of the most intentionally generous persons I've ever known. She is intentional about extending herself, including others, and ever expanding her reach and her network to share the opportunities and experiences that she has gained along life's journey, a trait that ties so closely to the mission and focus of WWCDA. Some of you may have had the experience of dining with Patricia or sharing a cab ride with her, and maybe you, like I, have seen firsthand her tip the driver or server at a percentage that is closer to 50% of the bill or more. And when asked, why so much? She enlightens. that gift has a much greater impact on the person that I've given to than it has on me giving it. And that practice is emblematic of who she is at her core. Patricia's indomitable spirit, unwavering commitment, and unparalleled talent have earned her a reputation as a lawyer who deftly anticipates pitfalls, sees around corners in unusually complex matters, and administers wise counsel and problem solving while adhering to her strong moral compass. In our highly polarized world, Patricia is a lawyer who is sought after across this nation as an advisor called upon not only by corporate executives of many industries, but also political leaders across the spectrum to navigate thorny, legally and politically sensitive, often high profile, sometimes racially charged matters that they are facing. As an example, I share the city of Chicago facing a crisis involving the destruction of grave sites at a historically Black cemetery where Emmett Till and others notable in American history are buried. And it was Patricia who was called upon to lead the investigation and ultimately oversee a multi-year resolution and restoration. Similarly, when the city sought to recover in the aftermath of the police shooting of Laquan McDonald, it was Patricia who was appointed as special counsel and who was at the helm of those police convictions, the first, that paved the way for the later convictions of officers in the George Floyd murders years later. And more recently, Patricia was asked by the NFL to serve on its Diversity Advisory Council. I add that just to show the spectrum of the kinds of places where she is pulled in. There are many skilled and highly credentialed law firm partners, and as a longtime general counsel, I've met many of them and worked with many of them, but only some, and for me, it's a very small handful, who match that skill with a level of judgment, solution orientation, and a bedside manner that gives me the confidence to bring them into my C-suite or boardroom. Patricia is absolutely one of those lawyers. And although our partnership began as a professional one, I have come to count on her as one of the most thoughtful and courageous voices in my inner circle. I'm honored to call her colleague and grateful to call her friend. Phenomenal women like Patricia have helped WWCDA become a force in the legal community, and WWCDA is able to facilitate collaboration and communication among members, build a strong women's referral network, develop resources to strengthen the practices of its members and participants, and mentor and integrate younger members of the white-collar bar. So I'm thrilled that WWCDA has dedicated that WWCDA has been dedicated to equity and changing the face of law for almost 25 years while elevating a tremendous number of women in the field. Thank you, WWCDA, for all that you do. I can't wait to see what the next 25 years holds for this incredible organization.
A musical introduction, thank you, thank you. I'll do us all a favor and not sing. Juliet, thank you so much for those wonderful remarks. Shh. Juliet, thank you again for those wonderful remarks. Thank you for being here this evening and for your support of women in the field. WWCDA launched this award to recognize women who best exemplify Laurie's groundbreaking leadership in the advancement of women in our profession. There's no better way to celebrate that legacy than to present this award to another extraordinary individual, Patricia Brown Holmes. Now, as you've heard, being an inspiration is nothing new to Patricia. There are very few lawyers in our field as respected and accomplished as she is. She's known to say that her favorite word is why. Why? And while that certainly may have been challenging in her younger days, it has served her well throughout her career. She's always loved to solve the puzzle. As a young AUSA in Chicago in the 90s, she and her female colleagues were known for taking the hardest cases, the most challenging appeals. Her desire to know why unraveled many a mystery. Her desire to know why placed her in many of the positions of inspiration that she has been. She's never shied away from the tough cases. She's never avoided the tough causes, and she's always found time to uplift others. I'm particularly honored to give this award to Patricia tonight because I first met her several years ago when we both taught criminal trial advocacy at the Department of Justice in the early 1990s. She was a gifted teacher then. She's a role model for us all now. She could rest on her many laurels, but that's not her. Patricia still looks at the world and she asks why. But she doesn't just ask why, she answers the question with her commitment, with her determination, and with her dedication. Patricia, you are an inspiration to us all.
She said glitter, right? You know? Thank you so much, Loretta. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much, Juliet. I am eternally grateful to you for being here this evening, Juliet. Thank you, WWCDA, for this award. It is a true honor to be in this room, and it is amazing to be recognized by WWCDA in receiving the Lori A. Miller Leadership Award. I know Kelly Warner is frantic, more than I am. It's an interesting fact of coincidence that when I met Karen Popp years ago, it was through Juliet Pryor. Juliet introduced me to Karen as a phenomenal lawyer practicing law in the white-collar area at a time when my friend Z. Scott and I were desperately trying to connect with other women in the white-collar law arena who were in private practice. Z and I, who were from Chicago, along with another woman in California, petitioned the ABA Criminal Justice Section to start a group that we called Women in White Collar. But little did we know that Lori Miller, Karen Popp, and Beth Wilkinson had beat us to it with the WWCDA. There was no social media back then, so we had no clue what was happening in Washington, D.C. from Chicago. Over the years, we've worked together to reaffirm the importance of diversity and the power of breaking glass ceilings. Karen, Beth, and Lori worked very hard to collaborate across the country and indeed all over the world to harness the power of so many women who were practicing internal investigations, compliance, and white-collar law. This award symbolizes the collective dedication and resilience of so many of those women, like my dear friends Z. Scott, Kalia Coleman, and Allison Jackson, who are here with me tonight. These women are women whom I have collaborated with, practiced with, learned from, and been amazed by. Thank you so much for traveling here from New Jersey, Chicago, and all over to be here today. This award also is a testament to the contributions that men, like my friends and colleagues Ron Safer, Riley Safer, Holmes and Kinsella, Dave Resnikoff, and Jack Tice, who brings his wife and my friend Uma, that they bring to the charge simply because they are supportive, encouraging, and embracing of the need for diversity in the white-collar arena. Thank you for being here as well. Most importantly, This award symbolizes the true love and support that I received from my husband of 36 years, Michael Holmes, who has been there pushing me every step of the way as I do my small part to shatter stereotypes and advocate for justice and pave the way for future generations of women who practice on all sides of the criminal law fence. He once told me that he learned as an anthropology major, and he truly embraces the concept that when women advance, society advances. So thank you, Michael, for your love, encouragement, and support in the advancement of women. I am thankful that women in white collar have an organization like WWCDA where they can create connections, experience community, and empower change, which is as important today as it was back 25 years ago when Karen Popp and others started this organization. I will always be committed to the mission of WWCDA and am excited to watch the next generation of women within the white-collar bar seize the increasing amount of opportunities that have been created for them by the years of hard work by women of this organization. I'm really excited for you, Kalia. Thank you again for honoring my work with this incredible award. I really, truly appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, congratulations again, Patricia. Well, we have communed, we've come back together, we've enjoyed a wonderful meal. We've enjoyed again the friendship, the fellowship, the support of WWCDA. And now we have reached our final and perhaps our most anticipated award of the evening, the WWCDA Champion Award. And before we present the award to tonight's two winners, Judge Beryl Howell and U.S. Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, I'd like to introduce Kathy Rumler. Kathy's the Chief Legal Officer and General Counsel of Goldman Sachs, and Kathy will share remarks about this award and about our winners. Now, Kathy serves on the Firm-Wide Management Committee of Goldman Sachs. She's the chair of the Firm-Wide Conduct Committee, but she, of course, had a life before that. Before joining Goldman Sachs, she was a litigation partner at Latham & Watkins. There, she was global chair of the White Collar Defense and Investigations practice, and previously she served as counsel to President Obama. And Kathy was President Obama's longest serving White House counsel. Now, while her tenure was important, the length of that tenure is indeed notable. More so is what Kathy was able to accomplish from that position. Kathy worked on some of the most important policy issues of our time: the Affordable Care Act, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, creating the Dreamers. Kathy Rumler's work has changed lives. Kathy Rumler's work has saved lives. Not a lot of people get to say that. She, of course, has an outstanding legal career as a fellow in the American College of Trial Lawyers and a member of the American Law Institute. And she also was a WWCDA member when she was a partner and an associate at Latham in between her government jobs. And of course, Kathy has been called, by those who know her well, indefatigable and utterly original. Most women with a purpose are. But she still finds time to give back to her alma mater, to mentor younger women lawyers, and to speak to student groups, because Kathy has never forgotten her own path to the top, and she reaches back to pull others along. Please welcome Kathy Rumler.
All right, hi guys. So I'm like in shock as I look at this room because I still remember my first WWCDA, we didn't call it that. back then, meeting. It was in 2001. It was at Karen Popp's office, obviously. And I went with Beth Wilkinson. I was a fifth-year associate at Latham & Watkins. And I was working with two young female partners, Beth Wilkinson and Alice Fisher, who were incredible mentors to me. And I think at that point, there were maybe like 7 members. I don't know, some very, very small, incredible, small members. But it's astonishing to see how this organization has grown. And it's just a testament to Karen's vision and her appreciation that the white-collar practice is fundamentally a referral business. And some of us may have even referred to it back then as an old boys network, which it frankly was. And Karen recognized that there was this huge need and desire for the relatively small number of women practicing in this area back then to connect and network and frankly to refer cases to each other. And it was such an important vision back then, and it just remains so today, as evidenced by the presence of everybody in the room. In my role now at Goldman Sachs, it's something that I'm constantly focused on because I lived it. It was experience I lived. I pushed the team to hire women. And so, that's what we try to do and keep our focus on it. Which brings us to the 2023 WWCDA Champion Award. This award is given to an individual, or tonight, individuals, who have made a profound impact or achieved significant success in the white-collar field while advancing opportunities for women. The award honors trailblazers from the private sector, such as Loretta, government and academia, who use their own platforms to help women in the profession. I cannot think of 2 more inspirational winners of the Champion Award than Judge Beryl Howell and Lisa Monaco, both of whom have had an absolutely enormous impact on the law and the legal profession. Loretta's going to come back up and she's going to tell you about their extraordinary careers, which are, of course, extraordinary. But I get to share a bit more of a personal perspective. I've known them both for a couple of decades now. And I first met Judge Howell when she was just Beryl. Beryl was part of this incredible group of former prosecutors from the Eastern District of New York: Karen Popp, Beth Wilkinson, Leslie Caldwell, Kathy Palmer, Loretta Lynch, Andrew Weissman. I intentionally put Weissman at the end of the list to keep his ego in check, and many others. And somehow I was lucky enough to find myself in this orbit of EDNY folks. And then I had the chance to work with Beryl when she was at Strohs-Friedberg. By the way, there's an EDNY Connect there too. And then the absolutely coolest thing, Beryl was President Obama's very first nominee to the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. And one of my most important responsibilities when I was White House counsel was to recommend judges to the president. Unfortunately, I cannot take credit for Beryl as much as I would like to, because she was nominated before I became White House counsel. But I can tell you from my experience that it was extremely rare for any member of the Senate to call the president directly on any judicial nominee. But Senator Leahy called President Obama about Beryl Howell. And he told President Obama how strongly he felt that she was the perfect person to be a federal judge. And boy, was he right about that. What an incredible mark has Judge Howell made on the bench. And she has made President Obama and Senator Leahy and all of us so very proud. And then, of course, everything becomes full circle, because when Judge Howell became the chief judge of the federal court in DC and presided over many quite sensitive grand jury matters, I had the opportunity to appear before her as an advocate
not as a witness or subject or target, thankfully. And I'm obviously not going to talk about any of the grand jury stuff because I do still remember, even though I'm in-house now, I still remember Rule 6C. But I can tell you that she was appropriately very scary and very fair. I'm such a huge admirer of Judge Howell, and I'm very fortunate to call her a friend. Okay, now Lisa. As many of you know, Lisa and I have been very close friends for a long time. And you also know that Lisa is quite a powerful person, and she holds a very powerful position, and she's tough. What you may not know is that there is something that turns her into a complete and total softie. Lisa becomes a completely transformed person when she is in the presence of my dog, Gertie. Lisa loves Gertie, and I mean loves Gertie. At least once a week, keep in mind, this is the Deputy Attorney General of the United States, I get a text from Lisa. It doesn't say, hey, how are you? How is everything going? It's 3 words, 3 words. Where's my Gertie? And the response that she's expecting is an immediate photo of Gertie content. Lisa came to New York City a couple of weeks ago for a visit. She was doing official business, of course, and I sent a text to my mom about it, and so I thought I would share that exchange that I had with my mom. And so I said, hi, Mom. Hope all is well. Lisa was in New York City. We had a great visit. She says hi and sends a big hug. My mom's response, how fun. Tell Lisa hi and big hug back, but who are you kidding? You know that she just came to see Gertie. So, the next time you're figuring out how to take an appeal to the Deputy Attorney General's office because of some out-of-control U.S. Attorney's office, you might want to figure out how to work some Gertie content into your appeal letter. Send me an email. I have at least 5,000 pictures on my phone. In all seriousness, from our very first jury trial together in D.C. Superior Court, to working on Enron at Main Justice, to working together in the DAG's office, to working together in the White House, to our annual ladies' ski trip, I have had a front row seat to Lisa's extraordinary talent, her unparalleled work ethic, her unwavering integrity, her wicked sense of humor, and her absolute, unshakable moral compass. To borrow one of Lisa's phrases, she is a very good egg. I couldn't be luckier to have her as a best friend. I'm honored to be here tonight, and I have now the privilege to invite Loretta Lynch back to the podium to present the Champion Award to our winners.
Thank you, Kathy. It is so great to have you with us this evening. Now, I was so honored to receive this award in 2020 and join the giants of the bar who received the award in years past. And this evening, it is a special honor of mine to introduce 2 new Champion Award winners. I could not be more proud. This year, we are giving the WWCDA Champion Award to 2 amazing women, Judge Beryl Howell and Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco. These incredible women truly embody the 3 core themes of WWCDA. They work to advance women, they facilitate connections, and they make an impact. Boy, do they ever. As you've heard, Judge Beryl Howell was President Obama's first nomination to the District Court for the District of Columbia, and she served as Chief Judge until March of this year. During this period, she also served as a member of the Judicial Conference of the United States. But Judge Howell's list of accolades begins early in her career because she also served in the vaunted position of Deputy Chief of the Narcotics Section and an Assistant U.S. Attorney in the Eastern District of New York. And as I said, the awards began early. She was awarded the Attorney General's Director Award for superior performance. She received multiple commendations from the U.S. Attorney, from federal and local law enforcement agencies for her work on international narcotics, money laundering, and public corruption cases. And while I note that as a judge and as the chief judge, in her copious spare time, Judge Howell also teaches legal ethics at American University School of Law, I want to note this is not her first time excelling as an instructor. During her time at the Eastern District, while managing her own caseload and supervising the busiest unit in the office, Beryl Howell found time to teach the newest members of the narcotics section, including one particularly young AUSA who had just been assigned her first trial. And I will tell you, I have relied upon the lessons that Beryl Howell taught me in that trial throughout my career. Now, of course, she taught me to focus on organization, to know the case inside and out. She taught me how to manage the agents who tended to disappear after the indictment. And I will tell you that Beryl Howell's to-do lists for her agents were legendary. I think there's still retired agents who wake up at 3 in the morning in a cold sweat because they didn't fulfill every item on her list. But what she also taught me was so much more important. She taught me that every file is someone's life. And that person, no matter what they were alleged to have done, was relying on me to be as fair as I was tough. She taught me, as she taught so many others, to never focus on the easy thing, not to fall for the expedient thing, but to always, always do the right thing. And I like to think that the crush of matters in Brooklyn prepared Judge Howell to handle, and by all accounts, handle masterfully, the perfect storm that she managed as chief judge, the COVID-19 pandemic that closed the world, the January 6th insurrection and the resulting caseload, and the flurry of activity spurred by the Office of Special Counsel, all landing in front of her at the same time. Colleagues and counsel alike all speak almost reverently of how she steered the courthouse through that trifecta of issues with grace, with discipline, and her trademark bone-deep commitment to bring justice to every matter before her. Now, as you've heard, Judge Howell has had numerous positions before tonight. Before taking the bench, she was on the staff and general counsel of the U.S. Senate Committee on the Judiciary. She served as a commissioner on the Sentencing Commission. She's been inducted into the National Freedom of Information Hall of Fame. I didn't even know they had one of those. It's amazing. And she is the recipient of the First Amendment Award by the Society of Professional Journalists. How many judges you think would be able to get that? She's also a member of WWCDA when she was in the private sector before being appointed to the bench. Teacher, friend, mentor. Please welcome our first winner this evening of the WWCDA Champion Award, Judge Beryl Howell.
Well, thank you very much, Kathy, and thank you very much, Loretta. I'm very humbled by your words tonight, and I'm very humbled to receive the Champion Award and to be included in this pantheon of other Champion awardees, like Loretta herself, Sally Yates, who's here, who are all living heroes in the law. It's also an honor to share the stage tonight with Lisa Monaco, who's also receiving the Champion Award tonight. Congratulations, Lisa. Having watched your career over the years, I've been in awe of how you remain a model of calm and grace when carrying enormous responsibility for the safety of so many, not just in your current job, but in your prior national security role. Thank you for all of your service to the country and for being an unshakable force for justice. So this event has always felt like a little bit like a homecoming, since so many of us have crossed professional paths and friendship paths with each other in years past. And so many dear friends from the Eastern District of New York here tonight, from Loretta, Karen, Kirby Heller, Jody Avergan, Andrew Weissman. I too saved him for last for the same reason, and Jody Avergan. I hope I haven't missed anybody. This event is a marvelous opportunity to reconnect with friends and also to meet tomorrow's leaders in the law. Looking around the room at this sold-out event, it really is a marvel to appreciate all that the WWCDA has accomplished to expand diversity and opportunities for women in the white-collar field. Whether serving as prosecutors, defense attorneys, or investigations and compliance counsel, one thing all of us lawyers share is an appreciation of the importance of facts. And that's what I want to spend a few moments to talk about tonight. Abraham Lincoln was a litigator before he was a politician, and he understood that facts matter. One story attributed to Lincoln is that when faced with a thorny issue that could have been settled fairly easily with a sophistic language twist or just a slight abuse of power, he likened this to asking, how many legs does a dog have if you call the tail a leg? And his answer was 4, because calling a tail a leg doesn't make it a leg. We are having a very surprising and downright troubling moment in this country when the very importance of facts is dismissed or ignored. That's a very risky business for all of us and our democracy. The historian Heather Cox Richardson, whose book I've been reading, explains in her new book, which is a bestseller, so many of you may have already read it, Democracy Awakening, that burying facts with false history-telling is one of the keys to the rise of authoritarianism. As she bluntly puts it, big lies are springboards for authoritarians. She cautions in her book's opening line, it's her very first line, America is at a crossroads, teetering on the brink of authoritarianism. And she echoes this thought in her closing line, that we are at a time of testing, and how it comes out resting, as it always has, is in our own hands. In between those 2 points, in the first line and the last, her book focuses on historical facts to set the record straight about recreated and imagined conspiratorial retellings of our country's history, recent and long ago. My DC judicial colleagues and I regularly see the impact of big lies at the sentencing of hundreds of individuals who have been convicted for offense conduct on January 6, 2021, when they disrupted the certification of the 2020 presidential election at the US Capitol. As district court judges, we are all about the facts and enforcing the procedural and evidentiary rules to make sure authentic, reliable, and tested facts are brought forward to resolve a case with serious consequences for noncompliance and for not telling the truth. That is what a fair process is all about and what generally makes for a just outcome. To be sure, stories can be told with different facts emphasized or highlighted or contextualized. That is entirely proper advocacy, and good lawyers are adept at using facts to tell a client's story for persuasive results. Still, the facts matter. The courts are often looked to as democracy's guardian, but the foundation for that guardianship, to the extent it works, is fair fact-finding with past events recounted based on accurate facts. So as we get to the end of this wonderful evening, let us take a moment just to appreciate how lucky we all are to work in a profession where facts are crucial to what we do for a living. The skills we use every day to figure out what the facts are and what actually happened in a civil, respectful manner are a good model for our fellow citizens right now at this time of testing of our constitutional democracy. We all recognize today the harsh fact about our own history, that when our Constitution was written, it had some fundamental flaws, since no Black men, Native peoples, no women were considered to fall within the definition of people who were equal or who needed to consent to the government under which they lived. Our country's history shows that the forces pushing our democracy to fulfill the ideals laid out in the text of our Constitution have come most often from those very folks entirely left out or marginalized in the Constitution's original iteration. The WWCDA is one of those forces pushing and is a shining example of how women joining together, and including some extraordinary men too, can empower change. So this gala is an important opportunity to remind ourselves both of the importance of what we do and to challenge ourselves to think about how we can use the skills and knowledge and appreciation of facts that we have gained to be a bulwark for our democracy. So I applaud the WWCDA for what this organization has accomplished to help women succeed in the white-collar field, and thank you very much for honoring me with the 2023 Champion Award.
I told you she was a great teacher. Congratulations again, Judge Howell, and thank you for reminding us of the root of all that we do and all that we hold dear, the truth as evidenced by the facts. And now, let's turn to our next Champion Award winner. Lisa Monaco is the 39th Deputy Attorney General of the United States. And that is the hardest job in the Department of Justice. She's a veteran of the department. Deputy Attorney General Monaco served as a career federal prosecutor and in several leadership positions across the department, but she began her career in the department as counsel to then Attorney General Janet Reno and went on to serve as an AUSA for the District of Columbia. She also was forged in the crucible of the Enron Task Force. And the impact of seeing that fraud and how it tore apart the lives of everyday people cemented for Lisa the role that she has occupied ever since then, the role as our protector. She went on to serve several leadership roles in the FBI, Chief of Staff at the FBI to then Director Robert Mueller. She then was the Principal Associate Deputy Attorney General, or PADAG, and then she became the Assistant Attorney General for National Security, the first woman to hold that position. In that role, Lisa accepted the intense post 9/11 responsibility to prevent the next attack. And yes, Lisa Monaco did do that. She was also the Homeland Security and Counterterrorism Advisor to President Obama. And in that role, she coordinated the executive branch's policy and response to a wide range of security issues. When cybersecurity became clear as a weakness of our great country, the president needed someone to come up with a strategy to strengthen it. Lisa Monaco did that. When Ebola erupted around the world and yet threatened to encircle the globe, we needed someone to have a strategy to contain that. Lisa Monaco did that. All of that and so many other things that she literally is not able to talk about even to this day. She has worked on some of the most serious and cutting-edge issues of the day. How many nights have all of us gone to sleep more easily because Lisa is at the helm? We literally will never know, but they are literally uncountable. We owe her a debt that we cannot begin to pay. And when the end of the administration came and the transition was upon all of us, I'm not saying that Lisa is also psychic, but in her transition plan, notably highlighted was a request that the incoming administration come up with a potential pandemic response. You know, in the unlikely event there was some kind of global virus that put us all out for an unknowable period of time. Lisa Monaco saw that coming as well and did that. Whether cybersecurity, national security and terrorism, a prosecutor, fraud, supporting the FBI, at every turn of her career, Lisa has kept her eye on her guiding light, how to best protect the American people. She has made us safer. She has kept us safe. How many people can say that? Lisa Monaco can say that. And tonight we honor that. We honor that commitment. We honor that effort. We honor her work. We honor her. Please welcome this year's WWCDA Champion Award winner, the Deputy Attorney General of the United States, Lisa Monaco.
Thank you so much, Loretta. Now, I am very, very conscious that it's the end of the evening and I am what is standing between you and the bar outside. So I'll do my best to be brief, but I do want to say thank you so much, Loretta. It's an honor to share this award with so many luminaries, such as yourself, Sally, and others here. This is also a wonderful kind of old home week as I'm able to reconnect with so many old friends. Now, the work that the WWCDA has done for almost 25 years isn't just about concepts of diversity and equity, but the innovative and practical ways we can affect change through educational programming and so much of the wonderful work that the WWCDA does. And so I'm incredibly grateful to be a recipient of this award, and I'm really so pleased to share this award with Judge Howell, who I also first knew as a Beryl. It's really tremendous to be able to share the stage with her. I think you heard tonight why she, from the Sentencing Commission, where she was an absolute trailblazer for fairness, to her leadership on the bench, that she has shown us, also with her remarks tonight, why she is a true champion for justice. And so it's an honor to be here with you tonight, Beryl. I'm really pleased to also have been the recipient of Kathy's remarks. Wasn't quite anticipating the Gertie content. As Kathy mentioned, we kind of grew up together as lawyers in public service, from the DC U.S. Attorney's Office to Enron to the DAG's office to the White House. You know, when Kathy left her role as White House counsel, President Obama said that he would miss her skill, her judgment, and her wit. And he never tried a case with her. Well, take it from one who has. We are really fortunate because Kathy is a formidable lawyer, to be sure, and leader. But more than that, she is absolutely somebody you want in your foxhole, legal and otherwise. Now, before I go on, I have to also say a word about the incomparable Karen Pop, or as I call her, Pop. You know, she, of course, is the sheer force and determination that has led this organization from being one that convenes a group of lawyers in a law firm conference room to a global organization that sells out ballrooms. Here's to you, Karen Pop. Now, I'm struck by the fact that the kind of evolution and the growth of this organization really is a testament to the sheer force of personality that is Karen Pop and her friends and colleagues who had the vision with her to set up the WWCDA. Now, as I was reflecting on the history and the formation of the WWCDA, I was struck by a particular concentration of alumni from the Eastern District of New York. Let's hear it for EDNY. Yeah. Now, don't tell SDNY. Karen, Beth Wilkinson, Loretta, Leslie Caldwell, Judge Howell, I could go on and on. You know, one might also call it a monopoly. I may have to get the antitrust division on that. But seriously, this is really an incredible testament to your force and your leadership, so thank you, Karen. Now, they call this the Champion Award. Now, I think at a kind of award ceremony, one focuses on the meaning of that word signifying the winner. But I am particularly honored to be a recipient of this award because of the other meaning of champion: to advocate, to pave the way, to encourage, to lead, to help others along. And I too have been the beneficiary of that ethos, of that spirit, the one that does animate this organization and animates this evening, and what you heard from so many of the incredibly thoughtful and eloquent speakers and awardees tonight. You know, I have been the beneficiary in my life and career of the subtle and not so subtle encouragement and leadership of many mentors, women and a few men as well. I have been a few men. I have been the beneficiary of that encouragement and leadership from champions like my very first bosses at the Senate Judiciary Committee when I was a recent college grad, pre-law school, recent college grad and young staffer on the Senate Judiciary Committee. I think Judge Howell was a much more senior staffer on one of the subcommittees. And I had these tremendous women mentors. They were young lawyers, although they seemed quite old to me, I will tell you. But tremendous, amazing women lawyers known to, I'm sure, many of you: Cynthia Hogan, Kathy Russell, Victoria Nurse, Ann Harkins. They were women doing incredible work on cutting edge and groundbreaking, indeed trailblazing legislation like the Violence Against Women Act. Because of that experience, they showed me what you could do with a law degree. Because of that experience, because of them, I was drawn to law school. I was going to go be an English professor. That didn't work out, so I went to law school. Because of that experience, it drew me to law school, and ultimately, it drew me to the Justice Department. I have benefited from the encouragement and the mentorship and the, frankly, inspiration and models of champions like my first boss in the Justice Department, Janet Reno, a true American original, our, of course, trailblazing first woman Attorney General. She is the one through whose eyes I learned about the amazing Justice Department and the incredible career men and women that are its beating heart. She had a mantra that I reflect on often these days in this job, almost daily, I would say. She used to say, "You'll be damned if you do, damned if you don't, so you might as well do the right thing." I benefited from the incredible leadership and encouragement of champions like Bob Mueller, who was the polar opposite of Janet Reno in many, many ways, but perfectly aligned when it comes to doing the right thing, no matter what the cost. Thanks to him, I learned about leadership when, as his chief of staff, I was often the only woman at the FBI's executive table in those days. And he showed what leadership is by sending the signal on a daily basis in ways large and small that he thought I belonged at that table. I've benefited from champions like my colleagues at the Justice Department, a department that I am privileged to lead and to help lead with an Attorney General who is himself a champion of diversity in the law and in law enforcement. I am extraordinarily fortunate to get to do this work at a department a department whose name, and I will now borrow Loretta's phrase, is the only cabinet department named for an ideal. And I'm privileged to get to do this work with champions throughout the department who work every single day in furtherance of the department's mission to uphold the rule of law, to keep the country safe, and to protect civil rights. And I'm so fortunate to get to do that with champions around the Justice Department and my colleagues there, some of whom I am very happy to say are here tonight, fabulous young women lawyers from the DAG's office. So pleased to have them here because I know they also will pay it forward in their careers. I want to thank the WWCDA for all that it has done to champion young women and women in general in the white-collar field and in the legal profession. Thank you for this award and for the spirit of paying it forward. Thank you.
Please welcome Hannah Bornstein.
Congratulations to our Champion Award winners, Lisa Monaco and Judge Beryl Howe. I'm here to talk about our final feature for the evening. WWCDA has 49 chapters with more than 3,500 members in 18 countries around the world, including North America, Europe, Latin America, and Asia Pacific. Tonight, we recognize 2 of those chapters for their growth, engagement, and all-around success through their activities and advancement of women in the field. WWCDA's continued growth has been extraordinary, and our chapters play a critical role in spreading our message and our mission around the world. Our chapters offer programming and networking opportunities locally, and without them, we would not have the same impact as in an organization. We'd like to introduce you to 2 chapters who deserve special recognition this year. Tonight, we honor our Phoenix and our London chapters. Let's watch this video and learn more about the Phoenix chapter.
At many of our WWCDA chapters, members come for the connections and stay for the community. The Phoenix chapter is an example of this, as their membership has grown steadily since the chapter was founded more than 10 years ago. This small but mighty group of more than 24 women have consistently hosted events every other month, from social activities to continuing legal education, and a core group of their members are regularly engaged in the national organization and West Coast regional group. Inspired by the WWCDA 2023 annual meeting message to expand our reach, Phoenix is focusing their efforts to co-host an event with law students, as well as starting outreach to public defenders doing white-collar work in their region. We honor the Phoenix chapter for creating connections, sharing community, and embodying change.
And now, let's hear from our London chapter.
The London chapter was the first non-USA chapter that WWCDA launched. The chapter has grown exponentially. In the last few years, the chapter has more than doubled in size, going from a membership of 101 to 268 and counting. London has strong leadership, and London's membership reflects the diversity and breadth of the London white-collar defense market. This is an incredibly active chapter, with regular events and significant engagement with members. In addition to a very engaged attorney and consultant membership, the London chapter supports a strong network of up-and-coming white-collar defense lawyers through a Young Professionals Committee. We honor the London chapter this evening for embodying the WWCDA's goal to create a powerful legal community dedicated to diversity, equity, and inclusivity.
Congratulations to our London and Phoenix chapters on their collective achievements. I know we have here tonight some leaders and members from those chapters, and so those who are here, if you could please stand so we can recognize you and your chapters. Congratulations again, and it is now my honor to invite our MC, Loretta Lynch, back up to the podium for some closing remarks.
Well, what an amazing way to end an unforgettable evening. It's been such an honor to spend just a little bit of time with you, focusing on the incredible organization, its commitment, its work, and all of the wonderful leaders who've been honored tonight. Congratulations to the chapters that we just highlighted, celebrating their growth and their commitment. We cannot wait to see what they will achieve in the years to come. It's my job at this point to simply say thank you. And it truly is heartfelt. This could not have been possible without the support of everyone in this room and those who put this event together. A huge thanks to all of our speakers, to the WWCDA team for making tonight such a resounding success, but most importantly, thanks to all of you for joining us tonight and in the days and nights to come as we work to advance the goals of diversity in this great profession of ours. This evening calls to mind the words of the late, great W.E.B. Du Bois, who said, "There is no force equal to a woman determined to rise." That's WWCDA. So I want to thank you for letting me be your MC tonight, and now I am going to invite Karen Popp, our global chair and co-founder, back to the podium for our absolute final remarks. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
All right. All right, so I only have like 3 things to say. First of all, I think that it was very clear, looking at the women who are coming up on this stage, that there has been a lot of progress in this field. I mean, phenomenal women up on this stage, and our future is very, very bright. From our O'Neill winner, our Ginsburg winner. You know, Janet Reno would be so proud if she could be with us to see what has happened to the white-collar bar. Those of us who are in her Department of Justice, you know, saw what she did to advance women, including our own Lisa Monaco. Attorney General Janet Reno was our first guest speaker at the WWCDA, that first meeting in late '99, almost 25 years ago, when Beth and I convened that small group of women to get together. The Eric Holder memo had just come out. That was the first memo. And we invited Janet Reno to come have lunch with us. And we just pummeled her with questions about this Eric Holder memo. You know, what is this waiver of a privilege? But, you know, it is true that this award ceremony is a true celebration. And tonight, given who we honored, we have a lot to be happy about and to be thankful for, and a lot to look forward to. So thank you to these winners. Thank yous to these speakers. All right, 2 more things, quick things. WWCDA is celebrating our 25th anniversary next year. We've got a lot planned. I look forward to seeing all of you at those events. Tonight, as you leave, we've got a little gift bag that's full of, you know, goodies from our sponsors. You will notice that on the outside of the bag is an imprint of a montage of words. These are words that our leaders, when we had our annual retreat earlier this year, our leaders were asked to talk about what has WWCDA, what does it mean to us? What do we want to do with it? What have we done with it? What more do we want to do? And the words that are imprinted are the words that came out of the mouths of our leaders. And it's really a very powerful, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. It is, it's a nice bag as well with lots of goodies inside. We are, you know, want to just say that it's been a wonderful evening. There's many of us that's going to head to the bar right now. So look forward to seeing you there. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Congratulations to the winners. Have a wonderful holiday, and we'll see you next year.